Ken's mother admitting that there was no severe medical abuse when it comes to Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
What if I told you everything you thought you knew about Gypsy Rose Blanchard was just the tip of the iceberg? Buckle up, because we're diving into shocking revelations, emotional truths, and the tea Ken Urker's mom spilled.
I've heard the story. I don't need to hear. I'm an old lady.
Sexual stuff. You don't need to hear all that stuff she adds in there.
But she has expressed remorse, and she knows she was wrong.
Is she sorry she did it, or is she sorry that she got caught? Did she hate her mother?
There was parts of her that hated her, and there was parts of her that loved her very much.
Did she tell you like why she hated her?
No.
First off, Ken's recent live was absolute chaos. We're talking accusations flying, people coming out of the woodwork, and the whole internet losing its mind. But what really caught people's attention was when Ken's mom jumped in and dropped some serious bombshells. She claimed to have knowledge about Gypsy's early life, specifically drama surrounding her premature birth and how Gypsy's mom might have played a role in creating a narrative that wasn't fully accurate from day one. And it gets deeper. Ken mentioned Gypsy's strained relationship with her extended family and how Dee Dee allegedly cut off ties with certain relatives who questioned her motives. There were also hints about Gypsy's secret confessions that haven't made it to mainstream media yet. Apparently, there's more to her story than just Dee Dee's manipulation, and not all of it paints Gypsy in a good way. So Ken's mom also touched on some behind-the-scenes family drama that might explain why Gypsy was isolated for so long.
My son doesn't know about how all that works. A couple weeks before, I think she was like 35 weeks. Gypsy was like 35 weeks. She goes to the doctor and she was like dilated 1.5 centimeters. Maybe she was 34 weeks at that time, but she went back a week later and she was at like 2.5. And that's when the doctors pretty much said, well, we're going to try to get you, you're dilating, like 1 centimeter in a week's time.
Yeah. We're
going to try to get you to at least 39 weeks in a day. That way it'll be in your, in the 40-week moment, but we'll see. And they started giving her shots, Gypsy shots, to develop Aurora's lungs just in case.
Oh, okay.
And Aurora came like 6 days later.
So everything started with Ken Urker's appearance on Sir Morbid's panel, and let's just say it didn't go as planned. Right from the start, things got tense when Ken was pressed about Gypsy's early induction. Viewers were hoping for clear answers about whether the baby was born prematurely or if there had been complications, but instead, Ken's responses were vague. He seemed unsure of certain details, which only fueled online speculation. People in the chat were quick to point out how strange it was that Ken couldn't give a straight answer on such a critical topic. Things only got more awkward when Ken admitted he was confused about some of the medical terminology and events surrounding Gypsy's pregnancy and Aurora's birth. His hesitation led many people to question whether there were parts of the story he didn't want to share or if he wasn't fully informed. Either way, it was clear that the live was heading toward disaster. As tensions escalated, viewers became frustrated. The lack of clarity on key details about Gypsy's induction sparked wild theories, with some people suggesting that there was more to the story than anyone was letting on. But just when things seemed to turn, Raina came in with her own bombshells. Ken's mom was looking to clear up the confusion surrounding Gypsy's induction and the birth of baby Aurora. According to Raina, the early delivery was unexpected but medically necessary. She provided an emotional account of the moments leading up to Aurora's arrival, painting a picture of a stressful and overwhelming situation for Gypsy. One of the most interesting details Raina shared was about the reliance on foot-line measurements to estimate the baby's gestational age. Apparently, due to some complications, doctors had to use less conventional methods to determine how far along Gypsy was in her pregnancy. This unusual approach only added to the speculation and rumors that had been swirling online. Raina's candidness was a breath of fresh air for viewers who had grown tired of Ken's vague responses. She didn't shy away from discussing the emotional toll the early induction had on Gypsy and the entire family. Her willingness to be open and transparent earned her a lot of respect from the audience. And then there was the question everyone was waiting for. How much did the baby weigh? This detail had been a point of discussion among fans and followers who were trying to piece together the timeline and circumstances of Aurora's birth. Raina attempted to clarify the baby's birth weight, but admitted that there had been some discrepancies in the information shared publicly. What stood out most was Raina's emotional insight into Gypsy's struggles as a new mom. She revealed that breastfeeding had been a challenge for Gypsy, who was already dealing with the stress of an early delivery and the pressure of public scrutiny. Despite these difficulties, Raina praised Gypsy for her resilience and dedication. She described her as a loving first-time mother who was doing her best under challenging circumstances. Raina's heartfelt words offered a look into the more personal and emotional side of Gypsy's journey. Her praise for Gypsy not only humanized the story, but also highlighted the strength it takes to handle motherhood while dealing with the weight of public expectations. But if you thought this was just about baby weight and early inductions, think again, because things got messy. As the conversation unfolded, Raina found herself addressing criticism about Gypsy's past. There were whispers that Gypsy's history was catching up to her, and some even suggested that motherhood wouldn't change the public's perception of her. Raina wasn't having it. She defended Gypsy, pointing out that people need to let the past be the past and recognize that Gypsy is doing her best to create a better future. What made things even more complicated was the controversial topic of Blanchard's parenting. Raina didn't shy away from voicing her opinions, which resulted in strong reactions. She acknowledged that while Dee was a victim in the tragedy, there were some issues in the way she raised Gypsy. According to Raina, the psychological and emotional toll Dee's parenting took on Gypsy was huge, and it's a part of the story that often gets brushed under the rug.
I really didn't have to do a lot with the baby. Gypsy was very attentive, and I mean, she really she was very upset when the milk didn't let in, and she thought she was a bad mom, and I had to explain to her what a bad mom was, and that would be a mom that didn't feed her baby. And it's
Yeah.
because she very much wanted to breastfeed, but her milk didn't come in. I was there. I mean, I saw her pumping. It just didn't come in. And I tried to tell Gypsy, go to bed. I'm up. I'll take care of her. And she couldn't go to bed. She was up right there with her. Is she okay? Is she okay? Let me have her. Let me get her. When I was offering.
Very protective, you would say.
She was very protective. Yes.
Kind of like her
Wow.
mom was.
Wow,
Like
that sounds very familiar.
Very concerned.
The tension hit a boiling point when Hello Starlight, another panelist, clashed with Raina. The exchange was heated, with accusations flying back and forth. Raina stood her ground, refusing to let anyone diminish Gypsy's efforts to rebuild her life. Viewers were glued to the chaos, and social media exploded with debates about who was in the right. But one thing that stood out through all the noise was Gypsy's transformation and her ability to open up like never before. Raina shared that Gypsy has come a long way in terms of communication. In the past, Gypsy often struggled to express her thoughts and feelings, but motherhood seems to have sparked a newfound confidence in her. According to Raina, Gypsy has become better at articulating her needs. This growth has not only enhanced her relationship with her family, but also helped her handle the challenges of being a new mom. Raina spoke with pride about how Gypsy is learning to trust herself and embrace her role as a mother. Raina's reflection on Gypsy's journey to motherhood was very touching. She described it as a transformative experience that has brought out Gypsy's nurturing side. Despite the challenges and public scrutiny, Gypsy is proving to be a devoted and loving mother, and that's something Raina emphasized with heartfelt sincerity. And then came the moment that left everyone speechless: Raina's firm response to a chilling question. When asked whether Dee Blanchard deserved what happened to her, Raina made it clear Dee didn't deserve to be unalived. Her stance was unequivocal, and it left a huge impact on viewers. This statement opened up a new discussion about self-defense and the allegations that have been a central part of Gypsy's story.
Her vernacular isn't strong enough to really articulate how she feels. What I surmised
I think
was
she's pretty good. there.
I think she's pretty capable of expressing her
I
emotions,
think she
especially
has
after reading
lots.
that book.
She's got a long way to come.
And just when we thought the drama was cooling down, Gypsy herself dropped a fiery Instagram post. In true Gypsy fashion, she didn't hold back when addressing the swirling rumors about Child Protective Services (CPS) being involved after Aurora's birth. The online speculation had reached a fever pitch, with people claiming that CPS had concerns about Gypsy's ability to care for her baby. Gypsy set the record straight by denying any CPS involvement. She emphasized that the rumors were completely false, especially given how much effort she's put into being a good mom. Her post was a mix of frustration and vulnerability as she expressed how difficult it's been to handle motherhood under such intense public scrutiny. Raina also jumped in during a panel discussion, confirming that there was absolutely no CPS investigation. She made it clear that Gypsy's postpartum journey has been challenging but entirely free of any legal concerns. According to Raina, people were taking isolated moments and twisting them into something dramatic for clicks and views. One of the key misconceptions Gypsy wanted to clear up was about her breastfeeding struggles. Some people had taken that issue as a sign of her being an unfit mother, but as Raina explained, breastfeeding challenges are common and shouldn't be turned into a scandal. Gypsy has been learning and adapting like any other new mom. And there was one last revelation that left fans shocked: Raina's surprising role in all of this. During the discussion, Raina made it clear that she hasn't received any compensation for the Lifetime special that focused on Gypsy's life. Despite the network's involvement and the attention the story has received, Raina was never financially rewarded for her participation. This revelation sparked conversations about the ethics of media portrayals and whether people close to a sensational story should be compensated for sharing their experiences. Raina's involvement, it turns out, was driven more by a desire to protect and support Gypsy than by any financial motive. Perhaps even more surprising was Raina's candid admission that she wants to connect with John and Nick, two figures who played important roles in Gypsy's past. This statement left the audience divided. Some praised her for being open-minded and empathetic, while others were baffled by the idea of wanting to engage with individuals linked to such a dark chapter. A person commented, "I actually respect her for being mature about it. Not everyone can handle situations like that with such grace." Another one added, "There's a fine line between being mature and being naive. Some people just don't deserve that kind of energy." Raina explained that her intention wasn't to forgive or forget, but to gain a deeper understanding of what really happened and how everyone involved has been impacted. Her openness added another layer to an already complex story. But now it's your turn. What do you guys think? Was Gypsy's induction justified? What do you make of Raina's surprising revelations and her desire to connect with John and Nick? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you want to stay updated on this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.